Don't let distractions deter you from the goal. Listen, we've all been distracted. I feel like when you get distracted, you realize how important distractions are, because what happens is when you start building your own discernment and you start building your own faith and you start walking with a sense of open-mindedness, the things that once had a pull and tug on you, their grip starts to get looser, right? Like the grip of drugs, substances, partying, sleeping with different women, lust, all of these things. The grip on that starts to get looser and looser and looser. And why is that? Right? Is it a regimen that you're doing? Is it just somebody that you're not anymore? No, it's when you can rewire your neural pathways to begin moving like the individual that you know you are, you start realizing that being the individual that you wanted to be isn't really that hard. You know what I'm saying? Like when you are actually getting to become someone that you genuinely can be, that you genuinely can appreciate, that you genuinely can want and long for, bro, you start realizing that, holy shit, the individual that I may perceive that I was, the individual that I may have thought that I was, the life that I may have thought that was my all, and whatever the case may be, that's not my authentic self. And anything outside of my authentic self can't serve me, right? Anything outside of the individual that I know that I see in the mirror can't serve me, right? Any lifestyle, any habit, any way of thinking, any environmental pull, it can't serve me. Because once again, it's like, am I reaching to be my highest version of myself? Or am I consistently plateauing to be something that people need me to be? Am I plateauing to be something that the world is conforming me to be? Am I plateauing to be something that I may think that I need to be, instead of just being who I authentically am? Right? The ironic thing about living this life is, and I broke this shit down, more or less having a conversation with someone, there's 3 types of living, right? You have the conformed mind frame, which is the just conformed lifestyle. You've chosen this path, this destiny, and you've chosen this life path, which is to conform, whether it be financially, mentally, physically. To conform, whether it be your dreams, ambitions, goals. To be a drifter, to be swayed, to be frivolous with your time, emotions, energy, sexual energy, all of these things correlate. And you dwindled yourself away a bit. So now you're just living life at its lowest state. You don't really know who you are. You don't really know what your life's purpose is. You don't really have a life's purpose. At least you don't think you do. And there's a version of you that was supposed to be tapped, like I always say, right? That version never got awakened. Then there's a version of the individual that has awareness, because we're all just awareness. This experience is awareness. Observational awareness, observational experiment. Funny how those things correlate, right? But P game, it's like when you start to realize that, holy shit, okay, when I do tap into my awareness, everything around me starts becoming way more vivid. Everything around me starts becoming way more clear. The people I don't need, the things that I do need, the lifestyle that I need, the lifestyle that I don't need, the food that I need, food that I don't need, the lifestyle choices that I need, the lifestyle choices that I don't need. Okay, now if I can break these distinctions apart, right? Break these distinctive things apart. Am I identifying with my problems? Am I identifying with my issues? Am I identifying with trauma, my past? Right? Because the thing about doing inner work is just because you get conscious and you get tapped in, the things that you've been harboring don't just go away. You got to face your demons. You got to look yourself in the mirror, like I say, having mirror grievance, right? And you got to confirm to yourself that you are who you say you are. You have to confirm to yourself that you believe in yourself as much as you think you believe in yourself, as much as you say you do, as much as you think that you do, as much that you realistically would want to in this day and age, right? And you got to do that every single day. And the thing about that is what's happening is there's a gravitational pull between those two lifestyles. You're still identifying with the 3D version of you, which is the version of you that may had a lot of trauma, a lot of issues, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, right? And you're feeling like that fuels you, that drives you. But realistically, that's just a mental psyop. You're just in psychosis, brother, sister. Then there's the aspect of you, right, which is your highest version, which is why it's just a form of a seesaw. And your highest version knows exactly what you need to be doing. It's already in a timeline ahead of you, so it's already foreseeing what's to come. It already knows what you need to be doing. It already knows the lifestyle that you live. It already knows the things, right, that you need to be doing. But the thing about that is, and it's ironic, going back to the first instance, is most people never can get to their highest version because the version of themselves that they imagine, that they dream of, that they see is so far out of reach for them, and they don't actually become that version internally and confirm it to their subconscious mind, that it's like that timeline no longer exists, right? For example, if my highest version of myself is financially free, is a music creator, content creator, creative in general, artsmanship, whatever the case may be, right? Highest version of myself is healthy, cognitive, decisive, you know what I'm saying, discerned, all of these things. But the version of myself that could be 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, right, is not as certain and confident in that highest version of myself. Because once again, it's like when you get these dreams, when you get these foreshadows, when these things arise and you question them, you really shouldn't question it. You should just think and just be in that thought, not even think too much, just be in that thought. Like how you have a thought and you can either observe the thought or overthink the thought. Observe those things, right? Don't identify with those things, right? Because once again, it's like being rich is an identification, meaning, do you identify with being rich or are you just rich? Are you healthy? Are you identifying with being healthy, like that shit in your bio or something? Or are you just healthy? Are you identifying with being a specific person or are you just that person? Which is like, for example, if you have integrity, if you have morality, if you have morals that you stand on, if you have a humble foundation of yourself as a human being, do you identify with those things? Or are you just that thing? Meaning, are you morally correct when nobody's watching? Because identification is like attention seeking. Identification is like, this is who I am all the time. But really, that's cap, right? So are you morally correct in your being, meaning that's just who you are, right? Are you creative, meaning that's just who you are? Are you intrinsic? Are you individual? Like, these things just gotta be you, bro. But when you try to make up an idea of this is the version of yourself that you're identifying with, it closes you off, which is why people identify with their trauma and wonder why life keeps giving them problem after problem after problem after problem after problem. People identify with being a victim and wonder why they keep getting ass whoopings from the universe, and it keeps happening over and over and over and over. And they never can seem to get out of that cycle. And it's like they caught in a time loop because ultimately it was a problem that you never could correct. And life is very simplified. You try to overcomplicate every fucking thing and wonder why shit keeps crashing down on you, right? Just relax. So I said all that to say, bro, like, everything that you're doing right now, everything that you are right now, everything that you may be building right now, your highest version of yourself already sees it. Sees your worst mistakes. It sees your overthinking. It sees your most, hedonistic thoughts. Like all of these different things that you may be trying to harbor or don't look at me right now, or you're faking, or either you just don't know how to be authentic. You don't know how to be yourself. How does that version show up in the world? How does that version serve the world? How does that version serve a purpose? Realistically, these questions are important because when you can unravel, right, the layers of yourself, you start realizing how important it is to show up as yourself, right? Because once again, and I said this shit in the real, like, if you are waking up every single day putting a mask on, right? When you have to wake up in the morning, whether you brush your teeth, wash your face, just hopped out the shower, and you got to look yourself in the mirror. And every day you got to put a face on that is not you, right? Now, I'm not saying that you can't be multidimensional, meaning you can't be business savvy, you can't be a creative, you know what I'm saying? You can't be a music, you know what I'm saying? Just a collect, like you're just a numerous amount of things. So putting you in a box just wouldn't work anyway. But what I'm saying is like, when it comes to your decision making, when it comes to your faith, right, in yourself, not just in a higher power, but in the things that you do, and knowing that God is you and you're flowing in the likeness and image of that. So everything that you do is being powered by that source. So which means that you got to use that power responsibly, right? And we've all been tapped. So everything that you are going towards, everything that you are pushing towards, everything that you are grinding so-called towards, you're already that person. You just got to keep going on your journey. You got to keep living life, having new experiences, right? You know what I'm saying? Not being afraid to live, having discernment, right? Don't just, like I said, run in the fire, run in the chaos, but don't be afraid to show more of the world who you really are. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be afraid to show yourself more of who you really are. Don't be afraid to uncover, right, the parts of yourself that you didn't even know existed, or that you didn't even know were still breathing, or you didn't even know you could be, right? Don't hide the form of yourself that may be the inspirational aspect, that may be the comedic aspect, that may be the insightful aspect, the spiritually in tune aspect. You know what I'm saying? All of these versions of yourself are important because, once again, we wasn't put here to be one thing. One thing can't define a human being, bro. You're an encompassing number of things. And those encompassing number of things is what you use to guide you to be your North Star, right? And what happens is when you can use all of your power, all of your faith, all of your individuality, all of your love, and all of your being to be who you truly need to be, the world starts doing this. And it starts opening everything that you need up for you. But if you never take the stand to be who you truly need to be, I promise you, you will always be living at the lowest version of yourself and be in a shell of who you truly could be. I promise you. So, saying all of that, bro, continue to keep growing, continue to keep prospering, continue to keep developing, continue to keep striving, and continue to keep being the highest version of yourself. I love y'all, man. I'm out.